What's up, everybody? This is Rich. Not sure which channel I'm gonna post this on, but this is Rich. And I wanted to talk about rejection and how all rejections are not equal. Growing up, we've been feared. We fear rejection. That's a lot of the reason why we don't go after the things we want, whether it be jobs, circumstances, people, relationships, moving, any kind of circumstance we tend to avoid because we fear rejection. So we rather stay comfortable. But somebody, I would say me, who's been through rejection before and understands the dynamics and understands life deeper than the surface, I want to tell you that not all rejections are equal. Again, not all rejections are equal. Let's say in the dynamic or the instance of a relationship or dealing with somebody, correct? Somebody may reject you due to them. It could all be them and not you. I know we've heard the term before. It's not you, it's me. And a lot of times that could definitely be it. Sometimes you don't know people's past trauma, their insecurities, what they're dealing with, what they just dealt with, what they're currently dealing with, who they're dealing with. There's certain things that you don't see. But the biggest thing about rejection is when it comes to the dynamic of dealing with people, the biggest thing about rejection when it comes to that dynamic again is that you have to know yourself enough. If number one, you think you're not good enough, whether it be due to something physical or mental, spiritual, whatever the case may be, if you feel like you're not adequate enough to be in that situation already, then the first thing that'll spark in your mind when you think about rejection is that right there. So say for instance, it's a pretty girl or a girl that you really like, or whatever the case may be. The first thought about rejection, whether you're playing that idea in your head or you go after it and you're rejected, the first idea in your head will be because of how you think about yourself, especially if it's negative. When we're dealing with emotions and things of that sort, negative emotions weigh stronger on the mental than positive because negative emotions keep you comfortable. Again, negative emotions keep you comfortable. What the hell? So what I've had to do to train my mind and to get stronger in this field of rejection is understand that it's two things that you can learn from a rejection, things that you can work on and things that you can understand. Like they say, it's two things when you come about a situation. It's either things that you can change or can't change. Things that you can change, change it. Things that you can't change, understand it and move forward. And that really only comes about when you have worked on yourself enough. Like I said, when you truly know yourself. You go after a job and they don't pick you. The first thing you could think of is, oh, maybe I'm not skilled enough. Maybe I don't have the qualifications enough. Maybe I don't have enough experience, whatever the case may be. And it could be that you don't fit into the culture. It could possibly be that you're too overqualified. It could possibly be that they're intimidated by you, that you might come and take their job. Or it could be that you might come in there, learn everything so fast, you might move on and then take everything that you learned and build yourself up, and now you're competition. It's all about how you look at situations. Again, not all rejections are equal. A lot of times, rejections have less to do with you and more about other people. And simply, you have to understand the rejection on the main level, on the surface level. A rejection is just simply not the direction you're supposed to go. It means keep going. When you were rejected by that first girl, you didn't stop trying. disappointed? And if you did, why did you stop? Because your ego or confidence was crushed? That just wasn't the situation for you. Take away the things that you learned. You gain more confidence. You gain more courage about yourself. Even attempting that. Congratulations. Now you take that, roll it in, and move forward. Now, if you're insecure about yourself and insecure about certain things that have happened when you have faced rejection, then it is up to you to nurture those wounds and grow from them. Like I previously just stated, it's two ways that you can go about situations. Things that you can change them. Things that you can't change, understand them. So if you're out in the dating world and you feel like girls are not attracted to you because you don't dress well enough, and that's something that's on your mind, now you can change that. You can change how you dress. You can change your appeal. You can change your sex appeal. You can change all that. That's no problem. If you're in the dating market and you feel like girls don't like you because you're not tall enough, okay, that's something that you can't change. So you understand that and you grow from it. You maneuver around it. You understand how to handle that dynamic when it comes about, not to put yourself in the dumps. When you face rejection going after job after job after job, and they don't hire you due to this and that, and it's not ever about your qualifications and your skills, now what do? You start your own business. Say, for instance, you've been going after sixes your whole life, and you've been getting not the feedback that you wanted. So now you must say, okay, well, shit, I dress good, I look good, I'm handsome. These boxes are checking off for you. Now what do? Okay, well, I'm going for 8s, 9s, and 10s now. Maybe my target demographic didn't feel as confident about themselves or felt about me some type of way that I didn't see about myself. Boom. Now you change the demographic. Same thing with females. The response you're getting from the demographic that you were pointing towards didn't give you back what you wanted. So what do? You change your angle. You say you dress good, you got a good house, you got a good job, this. Okay, so now you change your point of view. Well, not your point of view, excuse me, but you change your target demographic. Not all rejections are equal. We may think, oh, this person rejected me, this situation rejected me. It's me. That's just the world we live in. It's easier to put that on you. It's easier. But sometimes we have to take a step back and really understand these dynamics that a lot of times it's not really us. Especially if you worked on yourself. It's not really you. Sometimes the timing just ain't right. It could be right people, right situations, right everything, wrong timing. So the universe is not going to allow that situation to happen because the universe can see down the line what's going to happen. The universe can see other interferences that'll take this course that could have been beautiful off track. So the universe would rather preserve what's going on and redirect you than you go down this path. That's why it's especially good when you face rejection not to control situations. Again, when you face rejection, it's beneficial for you not to chase those situations, not to control those situations. You go for a job interview and they reject you. Cool, no problem. You don't chase them and say, well, is there any other position? Is this? Don't do that. Because if they really wanted you, they would have told you. Just say, I appreciate your time. Is there anything that you see that I could work on? Leave it as that. Now they're giving you direct feedback of why they have rejected you, and you can use that and implement to build yourself up. Now, if you face rejection with, as far as dating or with somebody from the opposite sex or whatever the case may be, somebody rejects you, you simply ask, if you don't mind me asking, what's the reason? I just want to know for myself so I know what I need to work on, or, XYZ. You're not chasing, you're looking for feedback so you can add this to yourself so you can have stronger chances when you go out again. She may say, oh, I have a boyfriend, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that, or maybe you're not tall enough, or you're not this, you're not that. You take that, you roll it in to you now, and you move forward. She might say, oh, you're just not my type. Then you ask, what specifically is your type, or what about me turns you off? And this is not necessarily you're changing for people. It's just you doing analyzation and you realizing certain things about yourself. It may be certain things about yourself that you may not understand that you may be doing that might be on autopilot. You might be dressing like how you were when you were 16 and it made you comfortable, but now you're 30, and it's time for you to change these things about yourself in order to live and attract the things that you really want. See where I'm getting at? So she may say, oh, it's the way that you dress. It's childish, So now, I'm not saying this is me in any case. These are just examples I'm coming up with. So she may say, oh, it's childish the way you dress. And once you have a collective of many examples, you might have talked to 3, 4 girls and they might have said the same thing. Oh, it's the way you dress. It's the way you dress. I like men who dress more mature. Da, 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 da. So now you take a step back. You say, I have been on autopilot since I was 14. Just buying graphic tees and little basketball shorts, cargo shorts, and not really caring about my shoes and just putting them on and da. And it made me feel comfortable. So now you start changing your wardrobe. You start changing the clothes that you wear. Like I said, it's not necessarily to attract those specific females, but you're getting general feedback from the public. And now you're waking up your consciousness to see, okay, I was facing these rejections because of the area I was in. Let me improve upon myself. So you might not even wear the clothes that they're telling you, but you're going to update your wardrobe. Now you feel more confident about yourself. Now you're going to find your demographic that appreciates your wardrobe, appreciates who you are, this new you. Sometimes we get so mad at people who reject us, situations that reject us, and we don't even love ourselves in these situations. A lot of guys say, oh, she didn't like me when I was broke. You didn't like yourself when you was broke. A lot of times it wasn't that you was broke. It was you was broke and you weren't doing anything to change it, and you weren't comfortable with yourself and you didn't like yourself. Those are the additional things that are the reason why people probably reject you. But if you were broke and you were on a man on your mission, and you were confident about yourself and confident where you were going, a lot of times those situations wouldn't even have any effect on you. Because that confidence you exude where you know where you're going is going to override all those things. So we can't show resentment and we can't hate people who show us rejection, or we can't have resentment towards rejection. We cannot. Because these are the building blocks that lead us to our highest self. Rejection can be a beautiful thing because it wakes you up and allows you to grow even more. Again, rejection can be a beautiful thing. It's just how do you look at it? Do you look at it from a victim mindset or a victorious mindset? Do you look at it the glass half empty or the glass half full? Either way, the glass still has the same amount of water. It's just how do you view it? It's like you drinking on that water and you got a little bit left at the bottom. You're like, damn, I only have that much left. Or you can say, I appreciate this drink. I'm finna enjoy the little bit of this drink that I have left. It's how do you view situations? How do you view rejection? That's how your life will change around you. You get rejected by somebody and you walk away sad, they're gonna say, oh, I made a good choice. I made a good problem. I made a good decision. Versus somebody rejects you and you take it on the chin and you ask certain questions and you positive about the situation and you move on. They might be looking at you like, hold on, I might have made a mistake. Hold on, this person took it on the chin and is happy, not even upset, didn't call me out my name, took it as a gentleman and kept on moving, or took it as a lady and kept on moving, took a licking and kept on ticking. Now they might be thinking they made a mistake. Hold on. They did dress so childish, but the way that they handled it was so mature that, we could change the clothes. We could change the hairstyle. Now they might be thinking about themselves. You might have been overqualified for a job, but the way you handled it and you asked certain questions after you were rejected or this and that they might be saying, hold on, we might be in our ego too much. Hold on, we might need this person to hire. Hold on, they might be overqualified for this, but we can move them over here. Or hold on, let's keep them on tab just in case we might be able to use them down the line. So it's all about how you handle rejection. Remember, all rejections are not equal. They can be the building blocks to make you your highest self. That's what builds character. I want to speak on this too, because it's flowing into segment over here, but it's flowing into this same thing we're talking about, that rejection is needed. Rejection is needed because it builds character. Haven't you noticed, and this might sound superficial, but if you're a super attractive person or an attractive person, if you weren't grounded when you were raised, I like that. If you were not grounded when you were raised, you have a high likelihood of not having character because you were never forced to have character. Think about that. Everything was given to you. You haven't had to know sympathy. You haven't had to know empathy. You haven't had struggles. Everything was given to you. So if you weren't grounded when you were raised, then you don't know. Correct? If we think about that, we think about child actors or child models or morning. How y'all doing?
Good, and you?
Awesome. If you think about child models, child actors, even just cute kids or kids who grow up in a privileged household and things of that sort, where you don't face rejection, you don't face discomfort. You don't have a lot of character, especially, like I said, if you weren't grounded when you were raised. If people didn't instill those things into you, you won't have them. That's why people have this mindset about pretty people, handsome people, attractive people, rich people. It's because the times that they have come across them, this is the character that they have displayed due to them not being grounded, due to them having everything at their feet that they have wanted, due to them never being rejected. But when you view the people or the kids or the situations where they weren't so lucky, when they weren't so pretty, or they weren't the first pick, they weren't rich, they had to struggle, they were rejected, and they took it on the chin, they took it positively, or as positive as you can in those situations, I should say. What happens? They start to build character over time. They start to not rely on their physical features. They start to not rely on their wallet. They start to understand that good character can take you a long way. Please and thank yous, showing appreciation, sympathy, empathy. They start to realize that these things mean more than those other things. They start to see that connections are deeper than superficial. That builds character. Like, you could have a supermodel who's never been denied, right? And it's never been grounded, and you can deny her, and her whole world would just come crumbling down. Or a guy who's been a jock his whole life, top pick, varsity, whatever the case may be, right? And he thinks his poop don't stink. But guess what happens when he comes across a female and she rejects him? His emotions are now running high because he's never had to face that rejection anymore before. He don't know how to handle it. It brings a new reality to him. He's never had to experience these things before. So the response that he's getting is now him snapping into reality. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, you know, rejection. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.